Dorothy wept bitterly at the passing of her hope to get home to Kansas again. But when she thought it all over, she was glad she had not gone up in the balloon, and she also felt sorry at losing Oz, and so did her companions. The Tin Woodman came to her and said, "I should be ungrateful if I failed to mourn the man who gave me my lovely heart. I should like to cry a little because Oz is gone. If you will kindly wipe away my tears so that I shall not rust." "With pleasure," she answered, and brought a towel at once. Then the Tin Woodman wept for several minutes, and she watched the tears carefully and wiped them away with the towel. When he had finished, he thanked her kindly and oiled himself thoroughly with the jewelled oil can to guard him against mishap. The Scarecrow was now the ruler of the Emerald City, and although he was not a wizard, the people were proud of him. "For," they said, "there is not another in all the world that is ruled by a stuffed man." And so, as far as they knew, they were quite right. The morning after the balloon had gone up with Oz, the four travellers met in the throne room and talked matters over. The Scarecrow sat in the big throne, and the others stood respectfully before him. "We're not so unlucky," said the new ruler, "for this palace and the Emerald City now belong to us, and we can do just as we please. When I remember that a short time ago I was upon a pole in a farmer's field, and that now I am the ruler of this beautiful city, I am quite satisfied with my lot." "I also," said the Tin Woodman, "am well pleased with my new heart, and really that was the only thing I wished for in the world. For my part, I am content in knowing that I am as brave as any beast that ever lived, if not braver," said the Lion modestly. "If only Dorothy would be content to live in the Emerald City," announced the Scarecrow, "we might all be happy together." "But I don't want to live here," cried Dorothy. "I want to go to Kansas and live with Aunt Em and Uncle Henry." "Well then, what can be done?" inquired the Woodsman. The Scarecrow decided to think, and he thought so hard that the pins and the needles began to stick out of his brains. Finally he said, "Why not call the winged monkeys and ask them to carry you over the desert?" "Oh, I never thought of that," said Dorothy joyfully. "It's just the thing. I'll go at once and get the golden cap." When she brought it into the throne room, she spoke the magic words, and soon the band of winged monkeys flew in through the open window and stood beside her. "This is the second time you've called us," said the Monkey King, bowing before the little girl. "What do you wish?" "I want you to fly me to Kansas," said Dorothy. But the monkey shook his head. "This cannot be done," he said. "We belong to this country alone and cannot leave. There has never been a winged monkey in Kansas yet, and I suppose there never will, for they don't belong there. We will be glad to serve you in any way in our power, but we cannot cross the desert. Goodbye." And with another bow, the Monkey King spread his wings and flew away through the window, followed by his band. Dorothy was ready to cry with disappointment. "I have wasted the charm of the golden cap to no purpose," she said, "for the winged monkeys can't help me." "It is certainly too bad," said the tender-hearted Woodsman. The Scarecrow was thinking again, and his head bulged out so horribly that Dorothy feared it would burst. "Let's call the soldier with the green whiskers," he said, "and ask his advice." So the soldier was summoned and entered the throne room timidly, for while Oz was alive, he never was allowed to come further than the door. "This little girl," said the Scarecrow to the soldier, "wishes to cross the desert. How can she do so?" "I cannot tell," answered the soldier, "for nobody has ever crossed the desert unless it is Oz himself." "Is there no one who can help me?" asked Dorothy earnestly. "Gilda might," he suggested. "Who's Gilda?" inquired the Scarecrow. "The Witch of the South. She is the most powerful of all witches and rules over the Quadlings. Besides, her castle stands on the edge of the desert, so she may know the way to cross it." "Glinda is a good witch, isn't she?" asked the child. "The Quadlings think she is good," said the soldier, "and she is kind to everyone. I have heard that Glinda is a beautiful woman who knows how to keep young in spite of many years she has lived." How can I get to her castle? The road is straight to the south, he answered, but it is said to be full of dangers to travellers. There are wild beasts in the woods and a race of queer men who do not like strangers to cross their country. For this reason none of the Quadlings ever come to the Emerald City. The soldier left them, and the Scarecrow said, It seems, in spite of the dangers, that the best thing Dorothy can do is travel to the land of the south and ask Glinda to help her. For of course if Dorothy stays here she'll never get back to Kansas. You must have been thinking again, remarked the Tin Woodsman. I have, said the Scarecrow. I shall go with Dorothy, declared the Lion, for I'm tired of your city and long for the woods and the country again. I'm really a wild beast, you know. Besides, Dorothy would need someone to protect her. That is true, agreed the Woodsman. My axe may be of service to her, so I will also go with her to the land of the south. When shall we start? Asked the Scarecrow. Are you going? They all asked. Certainly. If it wasn't for Dorothy I should never have had my brains. She lifted me from the pole in the cornfield and brought me to the Emerald City, so my good luck is all due to her. And I shall never leave her until she starts back to Kansas for good and all. Thank you, said Dorothy gratefully. You're all so very kind to me, but I should like to start as soon as possible. Shall we go tomorrow morning? Returned the Scarecrow. So now let us get ready, for it's going to be a long journey.